Good God.
Who's that?
Eleanor Gardner's old assistant, Kendra something. Did you ever overlap with her?
No, but she was a little aggressive.
Yes, Eleanor used to call her tiger daughter.
Isn't that kind of offensive?
Calling her a tiger?
Yeah, like the whole tiger mom thing? Or...
Oh, right. Wow, I never put that together. I thought tigers were from Africa. You know what? Never mind. Eleanor's great. She's just old. The point is that she was afraid of her. Called her an ambition junkie, and Eleanor would know. I mean, she's been in this business for so long. She's seen every type of anybody that's passed through this world. And she was right. The girl just sold some book on Gloria, and she wasn't even there.
macchiato, extra foam. Oh, that was Kendra Park. How many more books about Gloria can that place take?
She sat in the cubicle right next to Dean, too.
Poor Dean. You know, we actually tried to get on his book.
You did?
Yeah, though there were just these samples from a memoir he'd been shopping around. Did you ever see them?
Of course I did.
Just terrible, right? And the whole thing was so icky with his little agent holding the auction less than a week after the shooting. But I was just trying to be supportive because, of course, I knew him, and I just spent the whole time thinking it could have been me in that cubicle, you know?
Did you ever know Gloria?
Of course I knew Gloria. Did you?
Actually, Sasha, I barely knew the woman. Isn't that terrible? And apparently Gloria and I started around the same time. We must have worked on something together at some point, but I usually request Christine.
Plenty camera. Thanks, Sean. You know, I feel a little screwed. I got into this business to make books I really cared about that spoke to me and my generation. Now, half my list is YA crossovers, and, you know, it's all that.
Is that Dean?
Man, what are you doing?
I left something. Relax.
Alright, where is it? I'll get it for you.
What am I, like, banned from the
Dude,
place?
where is it?
It's over there, under the chair. Those papers. Nan?
Is everything okay?
Yeah, hi. What, I can't say hi to my friends? Fine, I'll just stand here. Can I do that? Hi, Nan.
Are you okay?
I'm great. Is that Sasha?
Yes, your old predecessor.
Hi, intern. I barely recognized you. How are you doing?
Good.
Are those the books for your book?
Yes.
I'm so looking forward to reading it.
Don't hold your breath.
Excuse me?
I said don't hold your breath. I may be dead before I ever finish it. Maybe I'll burn it. What are you guys meeting about?
Oh, we're just catching up.
I've been trying to get a coffee with this one for months. You'd think 5 years would put you at the top of some list, but I guess not. Did you get any of my emails?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so behind. But, you know, life is so hard without a superstar assistant. But we ran into Kendra.
You did?
She says you guys reconnected.
Tell me what to do.
I'm sorry?
About my book. How do I rethink it? How do I unthink it? What do I do?
Dean, what's going on?
I'm fine. I have to go. I have to go.
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to you.
Should I have not brought up the book?
What do I do? Do I go after him?
No, don't.
Why did she not want it?
He's not talking about it.
The one who was just here?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He slapped her? She didn't seem slapped.
It's just so hard to watch when something like this comes out of nowhere and just derails everything. I just wish things would go back to the way they were, and not just for him, but for me too. I mean, I was on the other side of the glass when the woman blew her brains out.
Oh God, I didn't know.
I'd just been talking to our intern, who she shot like 5 minutes after he left my office. Did you ever hear about him?
What? No?
Oh, it's actually the saddest story. Somehow he's been like completely just written out of the whole thing. His name was Mark, one of Richard Morrison's students. He was this incredibly bright kid. Black, Harvard. Anyway, it was going to be his last day working with us.
Oh my god.
I know. And anyway, he did that thing where he asked to meet with me before he left, which was so sweet.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Me too, but, sometimes it can backfire. And I wasn't completely expecting him to be a suck-up, but I did brace myself. But then he came in and sat down. I asked him how he had enjoyed his experience, and then he told me that it had just been okay.
What?
And of course, I was like, tell me more. And what I realized is that Richard Morrison had filled this poor boy's head with all these stories about how fun the office used to be, how crazy it was back in the day, and he'd been disappointed. Of course, he was talking about the time back when they had martini carts making the rounds every day at 4, and there were always these illicit affairs happening all over the office, and coke being done in the bathrooms, and all sorts of other hijinks. And yes, I guess that exact historical time did sort of produce the most interesting work, but it was also...
Pre-internet?
Yes. Well, I was going to say a disaster, but yes, pre-internet too, I suppose.
Well, there was no internet. When you sat at your desk, you had no choice but to work. And then when you were done working, you went crazy.
Yes, but it was also a financial disaster. Mostly because everyone was walking around with these substance abuse problems, and that's half the reason why we went corporate the way we did. Got bought out. We were so in the red. But anyway, Mark was saying, basically, that he thought he was going to be somewhere that was more charged, more vibrant, and he found it lacking. And we were laughing about it. We were both laughing over this thing that he'd only heard about and this thing that I'd actually lived through, and it was weird. And then, almost suddenly, the laughing stopped, and it was like he was reading my mind when he asked me, what happened? And I didn't know what else to say except things were different then. Everyone was young and didn't know what they were doing. Everything was new and exciting and always discovery. And then it got old. We got old. And now things are different. And he got up, and just before he left, I found myself blurting out, if you ever want a career in publishing. Just like that. And I knew that it was me, like, trying to convince myself that he was young and naive and that I was wise and the one with all the power. But he just looked at me with the saddest, most knowing look on his face and just thanked me and left. Then 5 minutes later, Gloria happened. I'd just seen the email from Bo when I heard those gunshots and those screams, and before I knew what was happening, I was underneath that desk. He was dead. And then I realized I was pregnant.
What?
I just put it together. I'd been vomiting all morning, and I'd missed my period, but I'm so stressed all the time that missing a period isn't even... Okay, TMI. But flash forward, I am underneath my desk, trying not to breathe, afraid I would make some sort of noise, and it took me some minutes to realize I was clutching my belly. That was where my hands went, straight over my stomach. And I was thinking to myself, who did this? Who put those hands there? It was like some sort of me was already working, without my even noticing it. It was like some part of me had already made the decision without my conscious self even noticing it. And I just kept thinking, who did this? Did I do this? Did I do this? I was under that desk for hours.
What?
Yeah, everyone else got out pretty much as soon as it was over. I mean, the whole thing must have taken 15 minutes, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know it was over, and, just my luck, Gloria decides to end her killing spree right in front of my office. She kills herself right there in front of my door. There were 3 bodies less than 10 feet away from me. Blood everywhere. I could see it, all over the glass, and I just couldn't open the door. I just refused. I just sat, and my whole life just flashed before my eyes, and all I could think of was the intern, our conversation. The next thing I know, I'm sitting on my couch with my husband, watching all these news reports about this woman I barely knew shooting up the office. I've been working my entire adult life, and there's my assistant being carried away. and it was suddenly like I didn't recognize anything or anyone anymore, including myself. Not my new self or my old self. I did not recognize the person I'd been for the last however many years. And I did not know the person sitting on that couch watching TV with my husband, except that I knew that that was the real me. It was like some spell had broken, and I still don't know if it was a good or bad thing. But it's totally changed me. I feel different.
Nan, where did that just come from?
What?
This story, have you never considered turning it into something?
Into what?
A book?
Oh, come on. I thought you said everyone was sick of stories about Gloria.
Well, yes. For a bunch of 20-something-year-olds writing about it. I mean, for them, and my heart really does go out to all of them. No one should have to go through something like this. But this is like the only real thing that's ever happened to them. No wonder they're all scrambling down to get it on paper. But you've got experience. You've witnessed things, and unlike them, Gloria is not the defining center of your being. She's the backdrop to a very real, very human, I might even say spiritual realization about time passage and motherhood and mortality. These are things that people, real people, can relate to.
Do you actually think there's something there?
Yes.
I've actually been wondering. What do you think I could get?